Hello and welcome back to another Wrestling and another edition of AEW Collision Out of 10. The final AEW show before Wrestledream, so any last minute changes Tony Khan wants to make had to be done here. Most of the competitors who were featured on this show kind of were helped set up Wrestledream. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and we started things off with Andrade El Idolo versus Juice Robinson. As usual, Robinson had the guns with him. Rock Hard got it alright in El Idolo's face, and they traded some growls and harsh words before Andrade tipped him up and tried to lock the figure four. Robinson escaped and took a breather at ringside. Rock Hard then was kind of helped by the guns, and El Idolo, while Robinson had the referee distracted. At one point it was a 3-on-1 fight. The disadvantage then helped the four make the leader of the LFI into an undercard, while he wouldn't use anyone against Robinson due to his larger technique and experience level. This never quite reached the same level as the excitement as Andrade and Jay White from last week, but it was trying to tell a different kind of story. The match with White was about setting up the feud. This one was about El Idolo getting a bit of revenge. This was a lot of fun, especially during the final 5 minutes. Robinson is like Teflon. He can take a million losses and still get himself booked. And I think, yeah, worked nicely in that context. Obviously, Andrade getting a big win makes sense. So yeah, it gets a 7 out of 10 from me overall. Good stuff. Next up, it was the Best Friends versus the Kingdom. Chuck Taylor and Trent Barreta didn't even wait for the bell to ring before going after Taven and Bennett. The Kingdom eventually took control and used quick tags and double team moves to keep their opponents apart, but Taylor and Barreta, AEW has always done tag wrestling well, so it will be surprised to see that no one found this as a solid match. Best Friends looked better than they have done in a long time, but they couldn't overcome the illegal wiener punch that Bennett used behind the ref back, allowing the Kingdom to get the pinfall victory. So yeah, big win for them, and obviously makes sense. Part of quite a big storyline now. Interesting to see where that all go with Adam Cole's injury and stuff like that. But I think, yeah, for what it was, kind of made sense. So yeah, gets 6 out of 10 for me. But overall, moving on then to Julia Hart, and she was kind of in a squash match against Vert Vixen, making her Collision debut, but it wasn't a happy one. She had to face Julia Hart, who was on a 27 match winning streak heading into this bout. Hart won in quick fashion, immediately called out Statlander. She arrived with the Best Friends, who has her since Hart had Brody King. The men stepped aside and let the women in the ring, but Hart decided to play mind games and left the ring. And yeah, it gets a 5 out of 10 for me, just because, I don't know, it wasn't nothing too special. It was kind of just there. But, you know, I think kind of did what it needs to do in order to set it up, and yeah, set it up in a very intriguing manner as well. So yeah, it worked nicely. Before it's time for the Gates of Agony versus Jericho and Omega, Bishop Khan, Toa Liana had the opportunity this week when they stepped to the ring with an old couple pairing Jericho and Omega. Liana and Khan had the power advantage as well as an edge and experience working together, but Jericho and Omega have both been tag team specialists at different points in their career, so they work well together for the most part. Nina helped his team gain an advantage by setting up Leona and to send Omega flying into Jericho, but they only had the upper hand for a little while. The Cleaner and Demigod did a good job of making themselves look like the underdogs, despite the result of the match being obvious from the get-go. It helped make Leona and Khan seem like a formidable duo in a way. So yeah, that gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, good match. Jericho and Omega kind of establishing themselves ahead of the big match at the Wrestledream, and yeah, I think it worked nicely for what it was. Before it was then time for FDR, Danielson and Wheeler Yuta versus Aussie Open, Big Bill and Ricky Starks. And yeah, Starks avoided having to face Yuta before their match tomorrow by tagging out to Fletcher as soon as the match began. As is the case with most 8-man tag matches, everyone got a little bit of time in the ring, but only a couple have stood out. Yuta, Fletcher, Wheeler and Davis definitely had the most memorable moments individually. This match had a lot of fun moves and sequences, but it never felt like team had a clear advantage. The tide changed many times as well. Even with the minor complaints, it was a good way to close the show. The crowd was hot, the wrestlers had great moves, and the announcers were having fun with SAJ at the table. However, it felt like the ending of the match may have been screwed up. Wheeler clearly made it to break Stark's pin on Howard, but the rest still counts as free. Danielson and Sabre had us clear down to close the show. So yeah, kind of except for the ending, it still was really good. Tied multiple stories in, and yeah, was just a fun way to go off the hour, I suppose. So yeah, it gets 7 out of 10 for me. I think it was a good way to close the show. Good stuff, 7 out of 10. Overall, AEW Collision gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, solid episode of AEW Collision this week, I do have to say. Lots going on, big main event. I think, yeah, mostly for most of the feuds kind of going on to the show, we built up to them nicely on this show, I feel like. So, yeah, on the whole, I have to say this was a good little shard. And yeah, it gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I think, yeah, really good main event, and just quality of match and segments throughout was good. But anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Next time, Aewwrestledream and subscribe to my channel, it's going to be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.